Welcome everybody to the Follow D Money podcast. Here we are on my journey to find cool people in Indianapolis doing cool shit. I ran into this young man not too long ago. I was at an event doing interviews, and his energy, his presence, his vibe, immaculate. I am sitting with the creator of the Everybody's Somebody brand, and he is the host of the Journey Up podcast. I am here with Mr. Tirus Duncan.
What's going on? Thanks for having me.
Man, thanks for coming.
Absolutely. It's an honor to be here.
It's an honor to have you, man. Also, you support a lot of things in the community. And what is kind of your driving force of being present in the community?
Just literally the simple understanding that one person means a whole lot. One is the completion of 100. And if you remove one from 100, you have 99, and that's incomplete. So if I could just show up and be the 100th person, it just makes a huge difference.
Okay.
And I always tell people when I go speak at schools or whatever, don't underestimate the value that you bring into the spaces that you enter. And don't neglect the absence, or don't neglect the hole that your absence brings. So I'm like, I have to show up because my presence is important.
It's a hole there if you're not there.
Yeah. And not only do I do it personally, but I try to encourage other people to also understand the importance of them actually being present.
Right.
It's such a valuable experience to be present.
Right. Where did the idea of Everybody's Somebody come from?
Man, everyone...
And I want to
love that question.
And I want to know the inspiration of it.
Uh-huh. It comes from an insecurity within myself.
Okay.
Of asking, where do I belong? Where do I fit in? Does my life have value? Is there a purpose for my being?
Yep.
And the mission statement for Everybody's Somebody is to spread awareness that no matter what you do or who you are, your life has value. I was literally in the shower one day and I'm like, man, Tyrus, you have to add something more to this world. You have to let something speak for you. What will your legacy be?
Yep.
I got out the shower and the name just hit me like that. I'm like, Everybody's Somebody. And I was like, what does that even mean?
Yep.
And people have asked me what it means. And I always tell them, just say it out loud. Everybody's somebody. Yep. And that just means that you are somebody. And you asked for a little bit about the inspiration. In the movie Shark Tale, have you seen that before? The cartoon?
Oh yeah.
In that movie, he's like, I want to be a somebody.
Yeah.
And that's attached to the idea of status, wealth, being a performer, being an artist, being something that is extraordinary or whatever. And then it hit me to what your first point was of me just showing up to all these different events.
Right.
You're somebody even at the lowest moments. Even if you're just showing up to your normal 9 to 5, it can only run functional if you're there.
Yep.
And people are only as valuable as the people that they have around them, meaning everyone is valuable.
Damn. And what are you doing with that brand? How is it tangible for us to see, use, and buy into?
Yeah, so I actually been on a hiatus for a while from that brand, just due to, we were talking about this before the podcast, but you get to a place of being burnt out.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, how much more can I give if I feel like I have nothing else to give?
Yeah.
But as I am slowly coming back to remembering why I started it in the first place, I remember I started doing Clothes One because clothes to me is like a walking billboard. People read it and they feel some type of way.
Yep.
And when I wear my hats or anything that I produce through the brand, I'll get more compliments on it than Nike, than anything, because it makes people feel something.
Right.
So for somebody to walk around, I have a shirt that has Everybody's Somebody on the back or on the front, and on the back it says your life has value. So for somebody to just be walking around and they see on the back of a shirt, your life has value, they're like, man, my life is valuable.
Yeah.
Or I have a hat that says love everybody. Just a simple reminder, because like I said, clothes are walking billboards for people to be able to read those and to be reminded of the value that they have on earth. That's one way that I can encourage people.
Yep.
Another way is just through doing videos and storytelling. Because everybody has a story, but not everybody knows how powerful their stories are. So I was producing a series called I Am Somebody through that.
Yeah.
So if I had you on the show, you'd be like, hi, my name is Stretch and I am somebody. And I'll ask you a multitude of questions. Really only 3 questions. One, I'll say, who is Stretch?
Yep.
What that does is give people a chance to explain who they think that they are.
Okay.
And I took away the first thing of what most people say they are when you ask them the question. They say their name.
Right.
So I have you introduce yourself as my name is Stretch and I am somebody.
Yeah.
And then I ask the question, who is Stretch? That causes you to think.
Yeah.
So it's like, who am I really?
Right.
Some people name titles. Some people name their profession.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole multitude of different things that people think that they are. But it calls people to actually think. And it's like, man, who actually am I? And then I say, what keeps you going?
Yep.
And the funny thing I've seen from that, most people say family. Most people say their career. Most people say something that has nothing to do with them.
Oh, okay.
Very little people say money, which most people think is the driving factor of what keeps people going.
Right.
When in reality, money is the tool that gets people what they need or what they think that they need. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. And then the last one, I asked people if they had the chance to tell the whole world something, what would they say? Some people say things about themselves, but most people also give an encouraging message.
Yep.
That has nothing to do with themselves.
Dang.
So through that, I've learned that people care more about people than we give credit.
Yep.
Or than we normally think about.
So you think that people initially feel like we don't give people any credit?
I think
enough credit.
People initially think that other people don't care.
Oh, okay. People care more than we think.
People care way more than we think they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to feel deeper about that, because sometimes in the world that we live in today, I do feel like there's not enough care, or there's not enough empathy or sympathy. Recently, I think that there has been an attack on empathy, actually. I think that they've villainized the feeling of empathy, because it's easier to allow things to happen without trying to affect change ourselves. You know, how do you feel about that?
I agree. But I also think people empathize with people who they think empathize with them. And when they feel as if people don't empathize with them, they think they're the enemy. When in reality, I think a lot of us are saying the same things and wanting the same things, but we don't know how to properly communicate what it is that we want. And if we were to learn how to sit down and have a conversation and say, this is what I want, this is my expectation, how can we help each other get what it is that we want, we'll treat people better.
Yeah.
But that takes a second of humility and learning that maybe you're not right.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody does have something that is valuable that they have to say, and just because they don't look like you or act like you or sound like you or vote like you, they still may have some merit behind their words. And all these different titles that we've added onto each other has hindered our ability to see each other pure. Like, I love the mind of a child.
Yeah.
Who can just walk up to anybody and say, hi, my name is whatever their name is.
Yeah.
That's just beautiful to me.
Yep.
But as we get older, we start to add all these different ideas of what's important and what's not important. And then we lose the ability to really love purely.
Yeah. I think when it comes to empathy and a lot of our emotions, I think we forget the accountability of those things. And I explain it like this: caring about somebody and expecting them to care. Like you said, we are empathetic to people who are empathetic towards us, right? But we shouldn't care how somebody feels, because we genuinely feel that way about someone.
Yeah.
When I open a door, and this is an old emotion for me, when I would open the door for somebody and they would just walk in and get upset with, like, they didn't say nothing, I would get upset. You know, I'd be mad. Like, you can't say thank you? But I didn't open it for them to say thank you. I opened it because I'm nice.
Right.
I opened it because I feel like I'm supposed to do that. And it is not a genuine act if I am hoping that they say thank you.
Yeah.
You know, and
you add an expectation to your action.
Correct.
Which makes it impure.
It makes it impure. And I think that having empathy is something that we should have without any reaction.
Yeah.
You just give empathy. You have sympathy. You hold people, you hold yourself accountable. And when we hold other people accountable for their actions or their emotions, then it's not a pure thought anymore.
Yeah. And literally, one of the first lessons you learn in school is treat people how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Where there's a scripture that says, do unto others as you want them to do to you.
Yeah.
And I think people are reactional based when it comes to that instead of action based.
Yeah.
Just because somebody does you wrong doesn't mean that you have to do them wrong in return.
Right.
Because is that what you want them to do to you?
No.
If you want people to treat you with love, treat them with love regardless of how they treat you.
Right.
Because that's when it's pure.
Yep. And to take that a step further, because that is what they call the golden rule.
Yeah, the golden rule.
There's a platinum rule. Do you know what the platinum rule is?
That?
So the platinum rule is treat others how they want to be treated. So when you treat someone how you want to be treated, you're assuming that they want to be in that same space as you, that same emotional space.
Mm.
We do not have the right to tell someone how they should feel about anything, but we do have the right to act upon when they tell us what they want.
Mm.
So a good person treats someone the way that makes them feel good. And that's the platinum rule.
Right.
Treating someone how they want to be treated. Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. You have the Journey Up podcast, and podcasting is something that is blowing up, and it has for the last 10 years, maybe. What made you want to go into podcasting? What about your journey said that you needed to put this out there like that?
I don't know if there's anything that connects us more than stories.
Mm.
So the ability to hear somebody talk about the experience from their own perspective,
yep,
and give them a chance to really unleash what they may be holding inside. It's really a form of therapy for a lot of people.
Yep.
Because a lot of people are not asked these type of questions.
True.
Like for someone to just come up to you and be like, hey, well, tell me about your lowest moment that you've ever experienced in your life.
Yeah.
Most people don't ask those type of questions, so most people don't think about them.
Yep.
But just because we don't think about certain things doesn't mean that they're not there. So for me, it's a form of healing on the listening side, but it's also a form of healing to help people heal from the things that they don't even think about anymore.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we'll come so far from where we once were, but we'll forget about where we once were because we don't even think about it anymore.
Mm.
And there's so much power in just reflecting on where you've been.
Yep. On the Journey Up podcast, what is your goal with it? What is your message you're trying to relay?
Really to tell people that there's a chance to make it out wherever you are.
Yep.
And to get people to understand that everybody has moments that are low. Because I know we all go through these different experiences, and some people don't think as far as maybe you or I, people who are passionate about telling stories, that other people have stories of low moments.
Yep.
Like I'm sure you've had some stories of low moments that you wouldn't expect for other people to assume just because how you carry yourself.
Correct.
People will see me and I'm always smiling, happy, keeping people going, encouraging people, making people feel good about themselves. So when I can relate to them and tell them like, hey, I've also dealt with depression too.
Mm-hmm.
It makes them feel some type of way. Because they're like, how do you present yourself in this way now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, let me tell you about my journey up. Because life is a journey.
Yep.
And we're constantly moving. And sometimes when we get to the top of the mountain, there's another mountain that's on the top of it. But if you look back, you'll realize the strength that you gained as you were on the journey up.
Yep.
So to share that with people is to equip them with the idea that maybe it's possible to get farther than where I am.
Yep.
So the reason for the podcast is to instill hope.
Right.
Because hope is everything.
How do you decide which stories you want to be told on that podcast? Like your guest selection on there, I think looking at the people that have been on it, all have great stories. But how do you decide whose story is worthy of the Journey Up?
Interestingly enough, most people hit me up to get on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't really see people to come on there, but people find it interesting. They're like, man, I would really love the opportunity to talk about my story or to tell my story.
That's
dope.
People
people be thinking they important, which they are.
Yeah,
they are.
Everybody's somebody.
Everybody's somebody, right? So to give people the opportunity to showcase their somebodyness,
yeah,
why not be?
embody their somebody.
Yeah, and it's for me, it's open for everybody. Like the series I was doing with Everybody Somebody, the I Am Somebody series.
Yeah.
I would just interview everybody.
Yep.
Because everybody has a story.
Yep.
And everybody has a journey up. So anybody is welcome on the Journey Up podcast.
Yeah.
Because you'd be surprised who you can help instill hope into.
Dope, man. And to me, the people who want to tell their story, their voice is so important.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't want to tell their story.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get those out, you know?
Yeah.
So
I love the challenge of the ones who don't want to tell their story.
Oh, yeah.
The ones who are like, I'm like, sit down in this chair and let's talk.
Yeah, so that's the complete opposite of my journey in podcasting.
Really?
Because I rather not interview people who want to tell their story. I seek people out. I ask people to be on the podcast. And usually when someone says, can I be on the podcast? I'm not ready for them.
Yeah.
And it's not because that they don't have a story that I want to hear. It's just not the moment that I want to tell it. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
And for me, there's stories out there that I have in my mind that I want to connect to. So I have a roadmap of how I get there. And the people who come to me, they become side missions, and I watch them grow. I watch them on their journey, and then I say, I'm ready for that person because it's happened, you know. And I'm gonna give an example. There's a guy in the city. His name is Big Homie Ace, and he's a rapper. And he was a social media like influence. He had put out a lot of content. He was real cool kid. I knew him from around the city, and he would always come up to me. He's like, "Hey, Stretch, I got a story." He's like, "I want to come on the podcast and tell you my story." And I'm like, "All right, cool." Because I liked him. I was just like, "Yes, you're gonna be on the story. You're gonna be on the pod for sure one day because we're boys, and I'm gonna get you on." I just didn't have the way of telling the story that he was living at the time, right? A year later, 2 years later, Ace now is downtown, and he gives meals, he finds food, he gives clothing, and he provides all kind of outlets. He gives free haircuts to people downtown. And I just ran into this kid yesterday on my bike, and I said, I need you on the podcast. Like, I'm asking him to be on the podcast now because this story needs to be told.
Yeah.
You know, when he was ready, I wasn't ready.
Right. That makes sense.
You know what I mean? So sometimes when you want to tell your story, it's not the right time. And then if I had told his story 2 years ago, I wouldn't have been telling the right story.
Right.
You know, so that's my journey with podcasting and how I say, I want to ask you because I know when I want to talk to that person, just like yourself. When I first met you, I was like, I need to know more about this kid. And I don't know if you remember that interview. Like it was about a 5-minute sit down, but your presence and your energy was something that was infectious. And I said, there's a story there somewhere. And I wanted to know what it was. And then I ended up finding out what it was. And now you're here.
Yeah. That's special. I'm honored.
Yeah, good, good. How do you find out? How do you handle, because you just said you went on a little break from the podcast, and sometimes we go on breaks because there's too much work. Sometimes we need a mental break. What did you do during your break to help yourself?
I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
Currently just learning myself more and more.
Yep.
Yourself is somebody that you have to constantly date. You have to constantly figure out what it is that you need to fulfill yourself. The longest relationship that we'll ever have is a relationship that we have with ourselves. And most people forget to date themselves, and they wonder why they're in a toxic relationship. So it's like, if you look in the mirror, you see a stranger, it's time to go on a date.
Yeah.
Or if you look in the mirror and you see somebody that you don't really like, you know, everyone has been in a toxic relationship before, but they stayed there just because they're there.
Right.
If you're not really feeling this person anymore, You got to figure out how you can deal with this person.
Yep.
Because with yourself, you can't divorce yourself. There's no breaking up with you. You can't walk out on tires. Can't walk out on tires. So I have to constantly revisit how I feel about me.
What does a date with yourself look like?
Literally looking at myself, it's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Just sitting with yourself. If you sit with yourself, you'll learn a lot.
Yep.
And not ignore what you're telling yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of us will sit with ourselves and we'll hear something and it's like, I don't listen to that right now.
Yeah.
And we'll do the exact opposite. And then we wonder why we feel upset.
Yeah.
It's like, because you didn't listen to what you were supposed to listen to. That's why. So I'm learning to listen more to who I am and who I am capable of being.
Yep.
Because the enemy also lives within you. And to me, the enemy is anything or anybody who stops you from being who you know that you're capable of being.
Mm.
You got to cut that.
Yeah. A lot of that is in ourselves, ain't it?
A lot of that is in ourselves.
Yeah.
We're our biggest fans while at the same time our biggest haters.
Yes.
Because we know everything about us.
Dang.
You play basketball.
Yeah.
You got the scouting reports. Yourself knows your whole scouting report.
Right.
It know that you don't like to go left. It know that you love to go right.
Yeah.
It know everything about you. So it has the opportunity, one, to be your biggest fan and also your biggest hater.
Damn.
A lot of people's haters are also they fans because they know a lot about them.
Right.
It's like, oh, I didn't like what so-and-so said on this bar in this song. And it's like, well, you listen.
Right.
You almost...
You know you don't like it and you know it.
So they Spotify monthly listeners, you're still counted as a listener. Yeah. So it's like that hater and fan also live within us.
Yeah.
So which one are you listening to?
Man. How do you balance your personal emotional investment in your work with the need to protect your own mental health?
I'm not good at it.
You're not?
I'm not good at it.
So you struggle with your own mental health journey?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Even as somebody who prides himself to encourage others, I am also often in search of encouragement.
Yeah.
And I often say God speaks through me. I learn from myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go and I'll look on my page at my reels and I'm like, man, I needed that.
Yeah.
That wasn't just for everybody else, but that was also for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm human too.
Yep.
And humans are complex beings. We have many emotions.
Yeah.
And sometimes we feel this way. Sometimes we feel this way. Sometimes we're high. Sometimes we're low.
Yeah.
And in those low moments, we need to be reminded by our higher selves that we're capable of being that higher person.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm learning to lessen the gap between Tirus at his lowest and Tirus at his highest. Because when Tirus is at his highest, not many people can mess with him.
Yeah.
But when Tirus is at his lowest, he just kind of disappears.
Right.
And I don't want to disappear.
Yeah.
I'm too valuable for that.
Yes, you are.
I have too much of a purpose in this life to disappear. So I constantly have to encourage myself and say, Tirus, it does matter.
Yep.
Tirus, you are somebody. Tirus, people do need to be reminded that their lives have value. So remember that your life has value.
Absolutely. You know what I do when I'm super down or I need encouragement? I am a person that loves to make people happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there are times when I just need encouragement. And what I would do is I'll call all the people who are close to me and tell them what they mean to me. And I do it in a message because I don't have the courage to call them and say, I need to talk to somebody. So I'll call people and I'll leave a message and tell them how valuable they are to me. And that is my way of showing them that they have value, but then I know then that I have value.
Yeah.
So that is how I escape my mental health journey.
Yeah.
But I do that so that, because I know I need it. So I'm assuming that my people need it.
That makes sense.
And I give it out that way.
Yeah. Because we do need it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we'll forget the big picture.
Yeah.
Or we're focused on the big picture and we'll forget the details.
Yeah.
When the beauty is found in the details.
Mm-hmm.
If we're looking at each other like a big puzzle, you have to connect to somebody who connects to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So when you feel as if you're meaningless, maybe contact the people who you connect to remind you of your value.
Yeah.
That's essentially what I got from what you said.
That is exactly what I do.
And that's something I could do more for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's something that we could also be more open to doing for each other.
Yeah.
Is reminding people of the value that they have in our lives. Because we selfishly assume that people already know.
We assume it because of proximity a lot of times too. We assume that because people are close to us that they know how we feel.
Yeah. And the reality is most of the time we don't let the people who are closest to us know how much they mean to us.
Correct.
We'll let the people who are farther away know how much they mean to us way more.
Yep.
I don't know if it's easy or whatever, or I don't know if it's just the assumption of thinking they should know how I feel about them because I'm always around them.
Yeah, I don't know the science behind it, but it seems like the people who are closest to us don't get the recognition that the people who are furthest in distance from us get. When you need someone or you need something, how do you go about getting yourself taken care of? Because we talked about how you work on your podcast by yourself. We talked about building a team around us. Do you have a support system that you fall back on when you need it, even though you don't work on your mental the way that you say you should?
I set my standards so high that even when people say that they're there for me, that they could be there for me, I don't think I hear it when I need to actually accept the fact that people want to be there for me.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes when your standards are set out of this world, you'll be like, no, they're not ready, or they're not serious.
Yeah.
When in reality, you have to build things one brick at a time.
Yeah.
So that's a good question. And I can do more at looking at my support system to see who I actually have around me and the people who do encourage me to keep going.
Yes, because just knowing you, the little that I do, you seem to be a source of support, right? And I know that people who have a lot more access to you probably lean on you for that support in many ways. And people like you need support as much, if not more, because you're carrying the weight of so much other things and you're doing so much. So I encourage you as a friend to find the people that you can lean on too. Because I found that in my life, pretending to always be happy was my downfall.
So you're ignoring what was real.
I was ignoring it, not really ignoring it, but not addressing it.
Right.
Not allowing people to help me with it. It's easy for me to make sure everybody thinks that everything's good. And as soon as I had people in my life that allowed me to not be good, I became much, much stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this thing that I say to myself is I started to believe lies that people never told me.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm like pretending to be happy is a lie that I'm telling you and you're believing it and I didn't even tell you.
Right.
I'm not really happy, but I'm just pretending to be happy and that's a lie that I'm telling you. And you believed it.
Yeah.
And I didn't even have to say nothing.
See, man, I'm very vulnerable people. They be like, are you okay? I'm like, no. I'm not okay. I'm not okay.
And I think that the problem is people like myself is I never want to be a burden to anybody.
Yeah, that too.
That's my biggest problem. I never want to be a burden. And I feel like telling someone my problem kind of puts that on them to help me fix it. And I'm not asking them to help me fix it. I just want somebody to know that I'm dealing with it.
That's the... You said it. You said it. And I think that's one of my biggest downfalls. Because I'll hold a lot of stuff in and then people would check on me and they'll be like, what's wrong? And I'm like, you should know.
I just want you to know.
But I don't want to talk about this.
Right.
And not just you should know, but you should know how to help fix me. While I'm learning, of course, people are not going to know unless you tell them.
Yeah, right.
Spider-Man is one of my favorite superheroes. And the movies, specifically the first 3 movies, I think did a really good representation of showing what it's like to be a man, but also to be a superhero and to have that identity issue of
Little
being a man
crisis,
and a
yeah.
superhero.
Yeah.
And I'm sure us real life superheroes feel the identity issue of, man, do I have to show up as Spider-Man or do I need to show up as Peter Parker?
Yeah.
And which one do the people actually love?
Yeah.
Like down to the first two where he's trying to get Mary Jane to understand, like, you love Spider-Man, but I am Spider-Man.
Right.
You act like you don't like Peter Parker.
Right.
So it's like, how do you get people to appreciate both Spider-Man, where he essentially has no weaknesses, no flaws, he's saving everything, and Peter Parker, the weak, vulnerable person who needs to be told, hey, I love you.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you need from me?
Yep.
Hey, how can I help carry this load for you?
Yeah.
Because just because you're Spider-Man and you have super strength doesn't mean that things don't get heavy. And I think people often neglect to understand that the motivator also needs motivation.
Mm-hmm.
The strong person also needs to be helped carry a load that's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes that load isn't physical.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes that load isn't in the area that they're strong in.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are multifaceted beings.
Yep.
So there are some areas that I may be weak in and I need somebody to help me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two is stronger than one always.
Always.
And we try to carry these battles and fight by ourselves. And that's where we end up killing ourselves.
Yep.
So to just ask for help, something that I'm priding myself on, back to the original question, I need to ask for help more.
Right.
I need to say, hey, I'm not doing okay. But also I need people to accept the fact that, yes, Tirus, yes, Tirus needs help. I can't do it all by myself sometimes. Yes.
Tell Tirus that.
Yeah.
I just really think that when I accepted help, I became better.
As you will.
Yeah.
LeBron didn't win the championship till he went to Miami.
You ain't lying. And I don't know where the problem lies in or why. It could be a cultural thing. It could be a societal thing. But wanting people to help me has always been a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I prided myself on doing everything supposedly on my own.
It's because that this preconceived notion that we're led to believe that we're stronger if we do things by ourselves. And that's not true.
And I will tell you right now, I say it all the time, but I surround myself, this podcast, I surround myself with a team that without one, we can't do it. And it is a perfect depiction of what it means to have a community of people towards the same goal.
Yeah.
And it just helped me create this vision of what I see my life as, being able to each one teach one.
And even if they're just there for support, it still makes you stronger.
In every way.
In every way.
In every way.
Like I remember just being in the gym and my cousin was on the phone. Just him being on the phone with me, I was like, man, I'm about to try to bench 265.
Yeah.
And he was like, are you? I was like, yeah. I was like, just because you're here, essentially motivating me from a distance. If it's me by myself, I'm like, I'm not trying that.
Yeah.
But just him being on the phone, I'm like, I'm about to show you that I can do this.
Yeah.
And I was able to do it. And I'm like, if I didn't have this motivation to push myself farther, I wouldn't have been able to see how strong I was.
Yeah.
So even just to have a community around that makes you feel stronger than you actually are.
Yeah.
Or not even makes you feel stronger than you actually are, but makes you accept the strength that you may not think that you have.
Right.
Which is a big difference.
It's a huge difference.
Because you are strong and you are stronger than you may think that you are. But sometimes you have to accept that so you can actually push the weight that you think that you're not able to push.
Yeah. I have a story that's kind of like that, and some of my friends have heard it, but I was on this workout journey, and I have a cousin, his name is Shark, and he wanted me to work out 90 days straight. 90 days in a row, right? And that was without question. No days off. I had to work out for every single day. And I was about 3 weeks in. And I called him and I said, okay, that's impossible. You can't work out 90 days in a row. It's just
21,
impossible.
I'm not doing this no more.
Yeah, I need to take a day off. And he's on FaceTime with me, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm tired. My body, there's no way I can do this. How you do 90 days? When can I have a day off? And then I'll continue. And he said, if I gave you $1 million, would you get the workout in? And I said, yeah. And he hung up.
You did the push-ups, didn't you?
I did the workout. I was just like, wow, I never if there's any little bit in me that can do it, then I can do it. If there's any motivation for me to do something, then I can do it.
Yeah.
I could have did it for 1 million. Why can't I do it for me?
We have to challenge our preconceived belief systems. Because most of the times we'll try to convince ourselves on why we can't do something instead of why we can. And you'll be so surprised how much farther you can go just by saying, I can do this.
Right.
I can do this.
Right.
Or having somebody to remind you that you can do this.
Right.
You can do this.
Yes.
You can go so much farther than your mind would even help you.
I just posted something talking about people. We love to make excuses for the things we can't do, but we never find excuses to do something.
Yeah.
We need to change that mindset and start finding reasons why we can do something.
It's funny you said that's one of my life philosophies. Limit the excuses, find the reason.
Yeah.
Because there's always a reason as to why you should be able to do something. So limit the excuses.
Yeah.
And also ask yourself, why not?
Yep.
That's such a powerful question.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you gain by not doing what it is that you're saying that you can't do?
Is it hurting you?
Is it really hurting you?
Yeah.
Are you going to die? Is it the end of the world? Is anyone going to die?
Are you going to die? What are you going to die?
People be getting so mad at me. At my job, a lot of my associates, they'll come up to me and they'll be complaining about something. I'll be like, listen, are you going to die? You're not going to die? Go ahead. You'll be all right.
Move on.
Yeah. And that, I mean, in a sense, that's still a form of motivation.
Yep.
Because it may hit them like, I'm not about to die. I'm just tripping.
Another question that I want to ask you, and it has to do with podcasting today. And we've had this conversation at Podcast Labs. You were at the lab where we talked about the saturation of podcasts. And are there too many? What do you feel about podcasts, and how do you feel the genre of podcasting, its growth? Do you think that it's a good idea for someone to start a podcast if they have something to say?
Do we complain about the amount of music that's on the radio?
No.
How many songs are on Apple Music or Spotify?
Nope.
We don't.
Nope.
I remember riding in the car with my father once, and he was scrolling through all these different channels on the radio. And he's like, all these songs on the radio, and I don't want to listen to any of them until he found a song that he liked.
Yeah.
And what that taught me was just because somebody doesn't want to listen to your song doesn't mean that somebody else won't.
Yep.
You have to find your crowd. It's 7, 8, probably 9 billion people on the earth right now. Understanding that there's 9 billion people on the earth right now, there are at least 10,000 people who agree with you right or wrong.
Yeah.
Who understand what it is you have to say.
Yeah.
So if you feel the call to say something, say something. Because if not, you're lying to yourself. You're biting your tongue. And if you think about physically biting your tongue, that hurts. So why do it mentally? It's still hurting you. Maybe not in the way that you could feel in that moment, but it's still hurting you. And you're still going to feel the pain eventually.
Yeah.
So why not answer the call that you feel has been placed on your life? If you have something to say it.
Yeah. Say it.
Say it. Kanye had a song on the album Ye. It was a song, but it's really him just being Kanye. I thought about killing you. And he said, there's a bar in there, he said, say it out loud just to see how it feels.
Damn.
People say, don't say this, don't say that.
Yeah.
I say, just say it out loud just to see how it feels.
Yeah.
So literally, just say it out loud just to see how it feels.
That's profound, though.
It is.
It is.
Some people will listen, other people won't.
Right.
Some people are going to challenge, why is it that you think this way?
Yeah.
Some are going to say, I understand why you think this way. And again, it goes back to the first thing we talked about. We will learn how to treat people better if we learn how to properly communicate.
Yeah.
Most people, even to this day, I have conversations with people and they're like, I don't know how to say how I feel. And I tell them, just start saying words.
Mm-hmm.
Because eventually you'll be like, oh, this sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't know how to say how they feel because they hold it all inside.
Yep.
And they don't say it out loud.
Yeah.
So I say, just say it out loud.
Just say it out loud.
Even if it comes to just being on a podcast. Because it's important. It's very important.
Yeah. That's dope, man. People having a voice is just... It's powerful when you know what's going on in someone's head.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us walk around with so much in our head.
Yeah.
And we don't speak it.
And the danger of keeping things in your head, again, that scouting report. You got the hater and you got the fan.
Mm-hmm.
And the hater's voice can be louder than the fan's voice.
Yep.
Or the fan's voice could be louder than the hater's voice.
Yep.
Both of those could create some issues. So to say something out loud, to hear the opinion of somebody else so you can challenge the thoughts that you're currently experiencing helps you really purify your thoughts. It helps sharpen your mind. They say iron sharpens iron, right?
Yep.
So to say something out loud and have iron sharpen it is everything. Now you can't feel challenged, or you can feel challenged, but you can't feel as if, oh, I don't want to say anything else because you're not understanding.
Right.
And let's talk about this.
Right.
The people around me, they know, Tirus, if you're going to say something to me, be prepared to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Or else you're going to get your feelings hurt. And non-intentionally. Like, I ain't trying to hurt nobody's feelings, but I be hurting people's feelings.
How well are you with criticism?
I actually accept criticism more than I accept praise. Especially from other people. Because it's easy for someone to say good job.
Right.
And in my head, with me not being where I want to be, I kind of balance it out. I'm like, why are you telling me good job if I'm nowhere near where I want to be? I don't want to hear that.
Right.
And I could probably be better at that too. So my mom, she'll tell me all the time, she'll, oh, I'm so proud of you. You're doing such a great job. And I'll literally tell her, I'm like, Mom, I don't want to hear good job. I'm not where I want to be yet.
Yeah.
And that's part of me just being too hard on myself at times. But also understanding that I'm capable of so much more. And to me, when somebody gives me criticism, it helps me look at myself to be able to refine what it is that I'm trying to put out into the world.
Damn.
Especially if enough people are criticizing you the same way.
Yeah.
Then
that's growth right there. That's room for growth.
Yeah. That's like God saying, hey, this area in your life is messed up.
Yeah.
And, people talk about God speaking to them, whatever. He ain't said nothing to me outside of what people say to me.
Okay.
So I look at it as if a lot of people tell me the same thing, like, man, this must be under the direction of God.
Yeah.
So I must answer the call.
Yeah. How important is you're speaking of God, like how important is your spiritual journey connected? I mean, how is it connected to your creative journey?
I think with all of us being creatives, that's when we're the closest to God. When we're creating. So by me creating something that is not there and then it is there, being made in the image and after the likeness, that means that's me literally acting as a God because I am a creator. And we all have the opportunity to create our own heaven or our own hell, even here on earth. And if you're not creating, what are we doing? Because you are creating. Everyone's creating. Something. With the words that you're saying, with the thoughts that you're having, with the life that you're living, you're creating a life. So why not accept the fact that God made me in his image, so let me try to create something. And I often think, I'm like, man, I wonder if God thought about the opinions of others when he created the world, or did he just do it? And I'm like, well, I guess I'll never know.
What do you want your legacy to be?
Someone asked Kanye that on a podcast before, and I really liked his answer.
What did he say?
He said, to be forgotten.
You want your legacy to be forgotten? Is you to be forgotten?
Yeah. I want to be felt. Not so much by the name of Tirus Duncan, but the experience of Tirus Duncan.
The impact. You want to impact people.
Yes.
Yes.
Because, they said, Maya Angelou said, people may forget what you say, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
Yeah.
There are a lot of inventions and things that we use every day that are very beneficial, but we don't remember the name. And if we remember the name, most of the time, it's not for a good reason. There are a few people that we remember for good reasons, but most people, not really.
Yeah.
So some of the greatest creations that we have on this world are by people who are forgotten. So I want to create something that has an impact that is big enough that people can experience, but my name doesn't get, I didn't like him because of this, this, and this.
Right.
I want him to feel what I created.
That's beautiful, because when you first said that, I had no idea where you're going with that. But to create something that is bigger than you,
Yeah.
and people remember that,
Yeah.
then you will never be forgotten. But what you did for them, that's it right there. Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's real dope.
If I was to simplify it, and if I wanted to say an average answer for my legacy, I guess, again, to make people feel a value. I want people to remember me as somebody who made them feel like somebody.
Yeah.
Who reminded them that their life had value, that their life was important. To be somebody that reminds people that they're capable of doing more than they thought that they were.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I'm not doing it in that moment, if I could just push somebody to go a little bit further, if I can push somebody to believe in themselves because they're not currently believing in themselves, then I think I've done a good job well done.
Yep. I think you're on your way right now doing that. You're doing it. And one thing that I want to know, I'm going to ask this question, but then I have another question. But how do you define success in your life?
I think it was Earl Nightingale who said, success is when you have a worthy ideal and you're working towards it.
Yeah.
That's how I define success. Where you have an idea of where you want to be and you're walking on the path towards it.
Dang. So do you ever reach? You don't know.
I don't think so. Because I'm sure you've experienced enough things in life to know that you get to that, again, to what I said earlier. You climb the mountain
It's a whole
only to find out at the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can say there are checkpoints that we hit. Yeah. There are different rounds or laps that you get to make you feel good or whatever.
Yeah.
But we're on this never-ending journey up into death of making an impact.
The one thing about goals that I've learned is that if you set your goals so high that they seem impossible to reach, that along the way you accomplish so many smaller goals on the way. And no matter what, every time we reach our goals, the goal just becomes a part of the routine then.
Yeah.
Every goal you ever reach is just another day after you reach it. So when you create these goals, you have to understand that when you're aiming for the stars, you might get there. And along the way, you've created this human being that is unrecognizable to you.
Yeah.
So,
and if we want to break it down like that, every day is a form of success.
Every single day.
Because you've made it farther than where you started. And as long as you're marking these checkpoints off, you're getting closer to where it is that you want to be.
Yeah.
And that's not nothing.
Yeah. All right. The last thing I want to tell you or ask you or just say to you is, I want to know if you're aware of the impact that you have on others. And are you aware of the responsibility that you have because of your presence? Are you aware that because of who you are, you affect people in a certain way? And with that comes responsibility. And do you accept that responsibility?
I don't have a choice. I often call it the burden of responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's heavy.
Yeah.
But you don't get to choose to be a leader you're chosen. You don't get to choose to be somebody who leads the people out of wherever it is. I always think of the story of Moses. God chose Moses, but Moses didn't want to be chosen. He said, hey, choose somebody else. I'm not a good speaker, and I don't want to do it. So go ahead and choose my brother Aaron. Yeah. And God was like, no, I'm going to choose you.
Yeah.
And I often feel that burden of responsibility, of understanding my life is affected by the decisions that I make. By not only does my life get affected, but the people around me, their lives get affected too, because I'm a powerful person. And if I don't answer the call and do the things that I'm supposed to do, just like Jonah, who God told to go speak to Nineveh, but he tried to run away from Nineveh. He said, I'm going to go as far as I can away from Nineveh, and ended up on this boat. And God sent a storm over the boat. Not only was Jonah affected, but everybody else on that boat was affected too. So it's like, when you know what your calling is and you run away from it, not only are you putting yourself in danger, but you're putting the people around you in danger too.
Mm-hmm.
So just answer the call and go where you're supposed to. Even when you don't feel capable, even when you feel as if it's not important, even if you don't feel ready to do what you're supposed to do. If you know what the call is, you must bear the burden of responsibility. All the great leaders say that life is suffering. And all the greatest leaders have had to suffer. So you accept the suffering, because suffering often frees the people.
Absolutely. Powerful shit. Powerful shit, man. I really appreciate that. And now I'm going to go into a segment that we call This or That. So you will choose between two things. Okay.
I like this. This is easy.
Easy. So, but if you don't pick, so I donate money every time you pick. And then if you don't pick, I don't donate. So
I'll choose something then.
Okay. All right. Recording in the studio or recording on location?
What are we recording?
Recording.
Okay, location.
On location. Pacer game or Colts game?
Pacers game.
Pacers game. A solo episode with you or a guest interview?
Guest interview.
Jay-Z or Kendrick Lamar?
Kendrick.
Movie night or game night?
Movie night.
Movie night. A dance battle or rap battle?
Rap battle.
Rap battle. Unlimited free coffee or unlimited free pizza?
Pizza.
Pizza. Would you rather be able to teleport anywhere or read people's minds?
Teleport.
Teleport. Live music at a concert or a motivational speaker?
Live music.
Chicken and waffles or shrimp and grits?
Chicken and waffles.
Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram.
Netflix binge or a YouTube rabbit hole?
YouTube.
Laugh so hard you cry or cry so hard you laugh?
Dang. Cry so hard you laugh.
Last one. Money, power, or respect?
Respect.
Respect. That's what's up, man. Thank you for coming, brother.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate your candor and your openness. I respect your journey, and I appreciate everything you've done in my presence since we've known each other. You showed up to our bike ride. You came to the podcast lab, and as a person doing anything, presence is gold. So just being there, I'm extremely thankful for your presence. You know, it means the world to me.
Absolutely.
And now you're here. So you've been more than present in my life, and I can't thank you enough. The team can't thank you enough. We've respected you since the moment we met you. So I just wanted to say that.
Thanks for providing the experiences for me to be present.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And how can people get in contact with you? Because, you know, everybody's somebody. They're going to want to be on that podcast.
The quickest way to find me is through my Instagram at The Great TPD.
The Great TPD. And do you have anything you want to tell everybody?
If they didn't get what I said from this whole episode.
You told them a lot of stuff.
Nah, just don't forget, your life has value.
Yes.
There's nothing too hard. And if it does feel too hard, get somebody that reminds you that you're capable.
Boom. FollowDmoney.com. Newsletter out there. Send me your email. We'll send you the newsletter. We'll see you next time with another dope person. Boom. Deep money.